going on, everybody? My name is George Anthony. It's hyphenated. Yes, you have to say both. And I am the founder and head coach of Brainstorm Fitness here in San Diego, California. Today, I'm going to show you guys a couple exercises that can be done anytime, any place. As a matter of fact, that's what the workout is called, is anytime, any place. There are going to be 5 exercises you can do at home, in a park, or anywhere that you happen to be. Our first exercise today is going to be a step down. This can be done on your couch, off of a step, off of a chair, or just on any elevated object that you have close by. So our first variation is going to be from a higher level, focusing on the downward portion, and we're not driving off of the leg that hits the floor. One regression for this exercise is going to be using a lower elevation, so a smaller step or a small box. And one progression for this is going to be adding a plyometric factor to it. So you're trying to get your base leg or your working leg to leave the platform that you're standing on. Our second exercise today is going to be an incline push up. So your hands can go on any elevated object, whether it be the back of the couch, your kitchen countertop, or any other place that you can place your hands on when your feet are on the floor. Making sure we keep our core nice and tight, trying to get your chest all the way to that object where your hands are placed. A progression for this exercise is going to be actively squeezing your hands together, trying to drive your thumbs together. So we're aiming for horizontal adduction, adduction, in order to get more engagement of the chest. And a regression is going to be shortening that lever, or bringing our knees down, or bringing your feet closer to that elevated platform. Our third exercise is going to be a decline push-up. In this case, we're trying to target different parts of the chest. So our base movement is going to be done with your feet elevated and your hands on the floor. For you strong ones out there, I want you to push off super hard and try to touch your opposite shoulder using your opposite hand. One regression for that is going to be shortening the lever once more, bringing that point of contact to your knees or higher, and still going through that full range of motion with the hands on the floor. Here we have an all-time favorite for lower body power, and it's your fourth exercise. It's going to be a plyometric jump. Our first one starts with your feet and your head facing the same direction, trying to get as high and controlled as we can, being sure to land very, very softly. For those that want it to be a little more dynamic, we're going to add a small twist as you come up. Every time your legs leave the floor, you're going to twist your torso to the left and right. For those of you who want a little bit less, perhaps suffering from a knee or hip problem or injury, we can just tiptoe at the very end as you come up, coming up onto those toes right before you conduct the next rep. This is a staple in most workouts, and your fifth exercise today is going to be a plank variation. So everybody can do a static plank, or most of us can do a static plank. This one is a bit more dynamic by taking your hands and going around in a circle, trying to get that hand out and away from your body. A progression to this is going to be adding a push-up. So you're going to elevate your chest and the rest of your body as you go up and down into that plank position. A regression is going to be shortening that lever once more, bringing those knees to the floor. This one's still much of a challenge. So all of these exercises can be done for reps or for time with this particular workout, especially for our beginners and even our more advanced folks. You're going to be doing these for time. So anywhere from 30 seconds, 45 seconds to 1 minute per exercise, making sure you're alternating or executing all on one side or the next. You have the freedom to do so based on your skill level and your capacity to work. Our philosophy here is really to make you better at things outside of the gym. I tell people all the time, whether you're a pro athlete, whether you're a fighter, or whether you're just a seasoned gym goer, or you've never worked out a day in your life, my goal is to understand what is important to you, what drives you. And in order to do so, that's how we try to figure out what you're really good at and what you want to be good at in order to increase your capacity to live and improve your quality of living. I am most known for being fairly intense or being very, very picky. I spent 9 years on active duty with the United States Marine Corps, 3 of which I spent as a drill instructor. So my attention to detail is very, very sharp, and I'm very, very picky. I like to be in control, and I do so for multiple reasons. One, it keeps all of my clients safe. I'm able to hold you accountable, and I get you to escape your limits. So I'm able to push you past what you would accustomed being doing because you're comfortable. And I'm very, very good at demanding more of people in order to make them better. My motivation is really being able to help people. I have clients that come in that go and live their lives, and they come in and say, hey, I was able to go on a hike with my spouse today. I have a client recently that went dog sledding in Alaska, and she fell and she didn't get hurt, and she attributes that largely to what we do here in the gym. So that's my driving force, to be able to wake up in the morning and know that I can help somebody else be better today, tomorrow, and to be able to increase their capacity to do whatever it is they enjoy doing. That's really what keeps me going day to day. My secret sauce is speed, volume, and intensity on being demanding, right? Most of the time, clients aren't accustomed to being pushed, and I'm very, very good at that, but doing so in a safe and effective and efficient manner. So this series of exercises, I like to call it Traveler's Fix. Whether you're a traveler or not, you can apply these 3 exercises to help you getting up and moving, especially if you spend a lot of time in front of a screen, in a seated position, or traveling in your car, planes, trains, automobiles, what have you. So our first exercise is going to be a seated I, Y, and T. So the goal here is to get your chest and torso as erect as you possibly can, really getting your arms up overhead, trying to get your palms facing each other while keeping your core tight. So we're not trying to hyperextend through the middle of our back or that thoracic spine, and trying to get those arms up and far back as possible as we extend, both in an I position, out to the sides in a Y position, and then all the way parallel to the floor into that T position. One option for regression for this exercise is going to be just keeping your elbows bent as you move the arms through the same plane of motion. So that way we're not getting as long, and it's a little bit less challenging to get to the very end of your range of motion. An option to make this a little more challenging is to actually elevate your hips. So we'll be holding a squat position while executing all 3 movement patterns. Now we're gonna do all 3 of these exercises for 12 to 15 reps and do those about 2 to 3 times in terms of your sets. This is an old favorite for most of my yogis out there. This one is just a little bit different of a variation, getting to take you through a little bit more range of motion, especially at the bottom position. So we're looking for a lot of core stability here, a lot of posterior chain activation to really get those glutes and hamstrings firing in your lower body and get that rotator cuff complex and those rear delts and erectors to fire in your upper body. A little bit of a progression for this one is going to be adding a weight. So we can take something as simple as a dumbbell, place it in the crease of the knee on the leg that's moving, and a light dumbbell in that hand that's going up as well. Making sure we keep those thumbs up to the sky and trying to get as high as you possibly can while controlling that weight. A simple regression for this exercise, one that's a little bit easier, is just going to be laying face down, or in what we call the prone position. You can even do these in bed, and they work very, very well, especially for those who spend a lot of time seating. Here's an old favorite, especially to build those glutes, right? The classic hip thrust. So we start off with our basic version, where the bench or whatever elevated surface your shoulders are placed on, we're aiming for the bottom of the shoulder blades or the bottom of that scapula, right? So we're trying to keep the scap over, rotated forward, keeping the arms across the chest, keeping that chin tucked the entire time, and extending those hips all the way to the sky. A very simple progression without any equipment is to transition from both legs to a single leg variation. The rest of your posture remains the same. One leg is going to extend out in front, so the base leg that's on the floor is doing the majority of the work. A simple regression is to lower the shoulders all the way to the floor. This one is going to be a little less challenging, especially since we have a little bit less range of motion. For all of these exercises, we're looking for 12 to 15 reps, 2 to 3 sets, based on how long, how tight you feel, how long you've been in that seated position. So our goal, these are exercises that can be done every single day, especially if you spend the majority of your time sitting on your hips the entire day, whether you're traveling, whether you're just sitting at home on the computer for work, planes, trains, automobiles. Again, these can be done anywhere, anytime.
This a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And this a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And this a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and
I think my personality is pretty dynamic, so I'm able to really scale all of our sessions based on who walks in the door. So if I have a military member that comes in here, I turn up the heat quite a bit. If I have an older member or a more seasoned individual that comes in that's very concerned, I'm able to cater to them as well. And that's what really has become our niche here at Brainstorm Fitness.
Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the.
To me, escaping our limits is just that, right? We tend to build these walls around our capabilities, and I think the word fitness has nothing to do with a look or anything else. It's about your capability to perform. So for me, it's really being able to break those walls down and step outside of your comfort zone in order to be better at anything that you want to do.
A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma, gotta get it, get it. Gotta get it, get it.
My bonus one for you today is the one move. This is the one move that I incorporate into every single warm-up and the workout that we do, whether it's upper body, lower body, strength day, power day, it doesn't matter. And it is my one go-to move that we always plug into every single warm-up. It's a lunge and twist, rotating your torso, taking one step back with your opposite leg, and then a lunge and lean. Same type of direction, a little bit different direction with the torso. It starts off with taking a backward step and rotating over your front leg. So the torso is nice and erect, the arms come up across the chest, and I turn my torso as far over or as far to the direction of the leg that's not moving, the leg that isn't stepping. The second part of this is when you come up out of that lunge and we're extending that same side arm. So the same leg that's stepping, that same side arm is gonna go up to the sky as you lean your torso over, rotating that palm up, trying to get a nice long stretch on that one side of your body. Again, this is my one move that is incorporated to every single workout that we do to prepare your body to move and feel much, much better. All right, everyone, so we just went over 3 of my favorite things to do, right? The first one is going to be our anytime, anyplace workout, and it's just that, right? Whether you're home, whether you're on the go, in a park, in your living room, in your bedroom, in a hotel room, it doesn't matter, or in the gym, these workouts can all be applied there. Then we have our traveler's fix. These are exercises that I like to use more on the corrective side in order to combat the things of our sedentary life that we naturally have to deal with, especially if you travel a lot or in a seated sedentary position for extended period of time. And then we have my one move, that one move that I incorporate into all of my workouts, regardless of what the plan is for each one, whether it be power training, maximal strength training, hypertrophy, doesn't matter. That is my one go-to move that I incorporate in every single workout. So as we always like to say here at Brainstorm Fitness, work smart, then hard, and make sure that you escape your limits.